Hey guys, Misery here, back with another CZN video, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing on what partners are valuable for the upcoming 5-star partner selector from the half anniversary. Just like my 5-star character video, I am joined with a guest. His name is Gordon, he's my friend, does a lot of testing, has every 5-star at E6 and every 5-star partner. We're going to be discussing on what partners you should be taking from the selector. So starting off, I want to start off with Bria actually right here, instead of starting off with the S tiers. So you may be thinking, like, Bria has this reputation of basically being needed for Kayron, which is just not true. Yes, she is a good crutch for upcoming users who want to learn how to play Kayron, and she makes playing Kayron a lot easier, but at endgame, an efficient Kayron player is actually not using Bria. So the reason why you wouldn't be using Bria is because you want to cycle your entire 3 decks every turn, and if you're doing that, Bria has no use case because you're not going to have any futility in the graveyard to even use Bria. And if you're cycling your entire 3 decks every turn, you can't be clogging the graveyard or your draw pile, so you're going to be exhausting the futility a different way. And yeah, that is why we have Bria at A tier. If you're like a newer player or even a mid-game player, Bria, she's really valuable for Kayron if you're wanting to learn Kayron, but once you get towards that end game and you're cycling your 3 decks every turn, then yeah, she loses a lot of value. And then moving on to the S tier, starting off, we have Janet. Janet is going to be really good on units that have bullets, such as Luke, Diana, because basically what Janet does, she gives critical chance to 1 cost or lower attack cards of who she's equipped on. And when the assigned combat uses a certain amount of bullet cards, which is 5, it will create another bullet card, and it increases damage amount of that created card. And as we know, Luke, Diana, they spam a bunch of bullets, so you get a ton of value for each bullet you're spamming with Janet.
Doesn't work on Renoa, because she doesn't use her dirge bullets unless they have quiet.
Janet's ego skill would work for Renoa though, right?
Yeah, it would.
But yeah, like Gordon said, units who use their bullet cards, benefit a lot from Janet.
The biggest thing for Janet is mostly just the fact that when assigned combatants use 5 bullet cards, that's not once per turn. You can easily get like 3 or 4 bullets from Janet every turn. It really changes the ceiling of characters like Luke. So the reason why Zeta is good, because her eco skill is a 2 EP draw 1. Any partner with a 2 EP draw 1 is very premium. It's the going rate for drawing in this game. The effect is pretty good too. It's just a flat 15% multi on instincts and a flat 25% to celestial cards. This partner was obviously meant on Calipe. There's no really other Vanguard that is instinct and uses celestials. Pretty good for helping the consistency in chaos runs. Next up is Tina. Tina is very good too. 2 EP draw 1, premium, as we just said. The effects on Tina are pretty good too. Flat 15% multi and then flat 25% to extra attacks activated through targeted attack cards. So it says targeting attack cards, but this works on Commence the Hunt, so I'm not sure what this means, but just know that you will do more damage. It does help that Tina is the designated partner for Hugo, one of the better characters in this game. So if you're using Hugo, she's a very high priority pickup. Let me go ahead and swap Tina and Zeta. I think Zeta less valuable just because the character is less.
And then moving on to the next partner we have in A tier, which is Scarlet. So Scarlet is going to be for Ren. The reason why Scarlet is really good is because it gives Ren so much more damage. Scarlet has really good effects. So basically what Scarlet does, when the assigned combatants card was just used before, you get a plus 15% damage amount to attack cards, which can stack up to 2 times, but it is removed when different combat cards is used. So it does plus 30% damage amount to Ren's attack cards. And then you'll get this buff called Focus, which, each time 2 of the assigned combatants cards are used, you'll get 1 focus.
I don't think there's a cap on it, but it doesn't do it multiple times. Like, the effect doesn't stack. I'm pretty sure that the next 2 hits, the next 2 cards, right? But the issue with that is it's like you're not ever going to not use an attack card, so I don't see why you would have multiple focus stacked.
And basically what Focus does, that increases damage amount, by another 20%. TLDR of Scarlet, basically, you get a bunch of multi for Ren, and that is why we have her at A tier. Moving on to B tier, we only have 1 partner here, which is Marin. She can be good, but she needs a few dupes to, really outshine Rosaria, because Rosaria, the 4-star partner, is just so good for a 4-star. Morale is very important in this game, and with Veronica already being a draw support and you're going to be having her in your team, that's an extra way to get morale if you're using, spammy units like Luke, Diana, even Renoa. But yeah, with the latest buff to the partner's percentage for, increasing the base stat, whether it be attack, defense, or health or healing amount, Marin does increase more attack now. So, before you maybe needed like E3 to really outshine Rosaria, I think you just need E2 now, right, Gordon?
Yes, kind of, because at E2, she's better for the character itself, but if you're still using Veronica for supporting another character and don't care about the damage, Rosaria is still going to be better. Marin's value is drastically decreased just by the existence of Rosaria. You don't want to use your Selector on a partner that can be easily circumvented with a 4-star. So Noel is at C tier because she doesn't really help Orlea. Noel was designed around the idea that Orlea was going to be a sub DPS. I don't know why the devs thought that she would do enough damage to do that, but most of her her effects are just damage, so doesn't really help with the gameplay of stacking softy multiple times for your huge hits. The only reason why it's not lower is because the ego skill is salvageable. It's just a Will of Light one time for 3 ego points. So we have these 3 partners at F tier, either because their effects are bad or the gameplay that they facilitate is bad. So let's start off with Kiara and say why it's bad. So the effect for Kiara only activates when you have 10 or more cards in graveyard. With the way the game is played right now, because our decks can be so thin and we can facilitate full cycling every turn, you're never gonna have 10 or more cards in graveyard unless you're playing like Flood Renoa, right? And playing that type of deck is not the greatest, and the ego skill is not good too. It's 3 ego points for just damage, right? And it's this damage scales off of the number of cards in graveyard, which is not terrific. So Erica is very bad, very bad. Not great because she revolves around the gameplay of playing around counterattacks, and counterattacks are gonna be perpetually shit until the end of time. That's just how it is, unless they quintuple the damage of counterattacks, but I doubt they would ever do that. The ego skill is also pretty bad too. It's 2 ego points for 200% defense-based damage to all enemies. It doesn't even draw. It is what it is. I don't know. Most of the Vanguard partners are quite bad. So Marianne's not horrible. The worst thing about her is her ego skill. It's 3 EP for 350% damage and nothing else. It's just completely vanilla. But when you run Marianne on the designated character that it's meant for, which is Marin, you can actually, instead of using Flame Dragon Jewel, you can actually get rid of the passion weakness on Flame Dragon Jewel and run the Flame Dragon Jewel that increases crit chance of this unit by 30%, because the Flame Dragon Jewel that has the crit chance doesn't have apply passion weakness to the target. So if we don't have a passion weakness applier in the team, like I don't know why you would use Selena with Maylin, but the issue with Marianne still is the passion weakness only applies to the basics. So a majority of the damage from Rising Dragonspire isn't weakness damage. So even though Marianne is meant for Maylin, most people would rather just run Scarlet.
And yeah, those are all the 5-star partners, the base 5-star partners in the game ranked for the 5-star selector coming up in the half anniversary. I cannot stress this enough, and I think it is really important. Choose your enjoyment and who you like the most, who you think you're gonna have the most fun with over the meta. Honestly, this is just a tier list. This is our opinions. After all, this is a game and it is for fun. So I highly advise to pick who you think you're gonna enjoy the most, whether it be like Bria for K-Ron because that's his designated partner. You know, most of the partners in this game are best on their designated combatant. So if you have a favorite unit and the designated partner for that unit isn't that versatile, I wouldn't stress it too much. I would just go for whoever you like. I think people worry too much about the meta in this game. After all, this is a tier list video. It's just, you know, to inform you guys, you know, to be helpful on who to pick and what's most valuable for your selectors. This is the first selector we've got in the game outside of the 300 standard banner pull one. So yeah, of course I want to make a video on this because this is very valuable, just like the Omega Codex, the free dupe that we get during the seasons. I don't think this game is too hard enough that you have to min-max every single little thing. I think this game is actually like really free to play friendly and versatile in the units you can use. You basically can use like any unit in the game to clear 95% of the content besides maybe like Rift. But yeah, most units can, like, you know, be all the content you need to progress at a good rate. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys are going to be picking from this selector. I'm probably going to save it. I don't think I really need any of these 5-star partners as of right now, but you know, maybe down the line we get a new raid up unit that, you know, actually wants one of these partners and I can select it. But yeah, I hope this video was informative. I hope it was helpful. If it was, very much appreciate if you could support the channel. And yeah, that's going to be the video. I hope you guys take care, peace, and be safe until the next one.
ようこそエディニティ号へ。担当直入にお伝えします。ナイトメア号にステラステージ公演のセキュリティ責任を引き受けていただきたいんです。華やかな照明の裏にはいつもさらに濃い影が落ちるものです。遠くから見れば喜劇、近くで見れば悲劇。ささやかな慰めの瞬間が誰かの悪意で塗りつぶされて、夢見る少女の小さな世界が壊されてしまうのを防ぐために。だから私は剣を握るんです。あの選択が最善だったの。あの時もし し違う選択をしていたら、これって待って、ごめんなさい。全部渡しません。取り戻せないと分かっていても、バカみたいにしがみついていた時間が小さな奇跡を作り出せるのなら、喜んで再び剣を掲げます。この舞台を見守ってください。カオスゼロナイトメア、銀河に響く歌声。